Remember, just about in time. Hello, good evening to everybody. Good to see so many of you here right at the start. And I did notice, where's it gone? Dean Nance, love your video, new sub here. Big welcome to you, Dean. Very big welcome indeed. Good to see you all. Let's have a quick run through of who we've got here. Going back up. Well, earlier on we had Mr. Sean Hawkins. I don't know if you're still around. He's posting lots of comments about cheese. Is that you, Dave? That's a new name on me. Is that you, Dave? And Mr. Steve Martin, good evening to you. I hope you're all doing well. I'm a lot better than last week. I think it was about a week ago. I really wasn't on the ball. I was screwing up with sound, screwing up with everything. Let me just double check the sound. Yeah, I got the sound. And I also wasn't picking up about people in the live waiting room waiting to come on stream. So sorry about that, everyone. A big screw up last week. Carrying on, we have, as ever, Mr. Colon, my wonderful moderator. Good evening to you, Colon. 9 o'clock hero, who has been on stream a few times. And Ivan James. Good evening. Oh, I lost where I am right now. Martin H, hello. And Tusk. Tusk, another regular. Another regular with a blue wrench. Good evening, Tusk. Scrolling on down, Spamulous HD, good evening to you. And Glober Mom, good to see you here, Mom. I hope you had a successful premiere last night. It looked good to me. I do recall you saying that you hit a record number of viewers at that point, which is great. It's a bit of what goes around comes around, I think. For those who don't know, Glober Mom helped me. I had a premiere as well that overlapped with hers, but she did me a favour. She tweeted out, I think it was tweet, wasn't it, Mum? Tweeted out about my premiere, which I thought was really decent of you. So big shout out to you, Mum. Please, everyone, go and check her channel. Mum, you've got a wrench. Please, please, put a link to your channel in the chat. So, carrying on. Trying to catch up. Tusk, colon. Ivan James Hunt. Seen you round a bit lately, Ivan. Ivan seems to have a thing, I think, for soy sauce. And if you don't know about that, check out my video from last night. You won't regret it. Not at all. And carrying on down, there's Dean, Manic Mike. Hello, what's up? Does anyone remember that advert? What's up? Was it? Oh, it was Budweiser, wasn't it? What's up? Watching a game, having a bud. Blimey, that was going back a bit, back in the 80s. I don't suppose many of you were even alive then. Hello there, Firestarter Man. Any cheese left? There's always cheese. And there's an emergency backup of cheese because on the wall we got my YouTube Cheese Award, which I know is starting to look rather colourful. We'll do an update on that soon. I did actually wonder about it. Excuse me. Did actually wonder about it and went and had a smell of it earlier on this afternoon. I couldn't really smell anything, but I had this strange sort of aroma in my nostrils for about half an hour afterwards. It's going to get ripe in the summer. So, Manic Mike. I can prove nothing, Ivan. Oh, yeah. If anyone really wants to know about Ivan and soy sauce, pull his trousers down and check the colour. I'll say no more at this time, Ivan. Manic Mike. Has anyone done the soy sauce challenge? Well, I'll leave you talking to Ivan about that. I've got a feeling he might have done. Oh, Firestarter Man. I'm sorry, yeah, eating a meal while watching, that's probably not the best time. And Heat Shield. One of my very, very long time viewers, subscribers, etc. Good evening to you. And Manic Mike had nose surgery. Ooh, hope you're all okay. And Shmoko Fuji Warrior, the cheese is flat. Well, this cheese is flat, that's true. Monochromatic light sauce, offal is lovely. I must admit, I don't think I'd ever try that. Dora. No, I didn't get banned from Asda, but Lidl won't let me in anymore. So, I hope you're all doing well. I've had a bit of fun the past couple of days. I don't know how many of you saw my community post. I was very naughty. I misled people with a serious sounding post saying that another creator had done the dirty on me. And I felt so guilty when I saw people saying, I can't believe it. Because I'd just done a video which is coming out on Tuesday about D-Marble and the probiotics advert. And what happens yesterday morning, I wake up, check my subs, check everything. Okay, it was a bit of a late wake up. And what did I see? Oh, Simon Dan's got a new video. D-Marble and probiotic. I thought, oh no. So I've got a video coming out, 4 days after him, about the same video. Well, that's going to be a bit flat, isn't it? And I thought, what do I do? Do I put it out straight away and just link to it in some way and just try to make light of it? And I really didn't know what to do, because if I did that, that would have left me without a video for a slot that I'd already prepared for. So I decided to do that bonus video of Simon Dan versus Mrs. Mr. Sensible in the car, and just make a joke of it in character. And of course it's got Simon Dan's name plastered all over it, and he saw it, and he did offer to make it up to me. He said he would send me a pair of Simon Dan socks. That's very kind, Dan. Only I'd have to pay the postage. And he didn't actually make it clear if it's some new socks from Teespring or just some old cast-off ones from his bedroom floor. So I'm going to give that a miss. Anyway, it was all fun. So, tonight, once again, I'm going to do something different. I have been in... I've made initial contact, or had initial contact made to me by Mitchell from Australia. We've been talking about having an on-stream debate. And he contacted me, well, he emailed me, and I didn't get back to him just purely because I was caught up with stuff, for which, if you're listening to this, Mitch, I apologise. And then he contacted me via Discord, I think it was this morning, and I got back to him and said, yeah, sorry about this, and just talked about time zones. And he said, yeah, we'll have this debate, but we're going to end up talking about this, one of his videos. And it's all to do with this Black Swan. I hope you've all heard of this Black Swan. Oh, sorry, just looking back, Dora and Koo thought Dan was going to run. Yeah, I did wonder if he was going to be yellow or not. And Steve likes how I did the video from my car. Yeah, but not driving, so I didn't need a seatbelt on. And Dean, yeah, it's a left-handed cigarette. Look, guys, I'll just say right now, tonight, please, just tonight, don't go on at me about smoking. I do appreciate the concern, I really do, and I will be keeping you up to date with it when I actually start it. But right now, things are still up in the air. But anyway, getting back on topic. What the hell was the topic? Oh, yes, this Black Swan. I presume most of you, if not all of you, have seen the video which I think Riley pulled out, which had someone else's video, BDLMS something or other, with the 2 gas rigs, oil rigs, and the Horizon, saying that this was an absolute killer for Globe Earth. I wish it was a killer for Flat Earth and they'd all kill themselves. Yeah, well, Mitchell from Australia has taken that video, taken some snippets from it, and put some other stuff around it, and it's been picked up all over the place. Now, Mitchell hasn't got that many subs. He's got a lot of views for that, so credit to him. But I also, in my trawling around the internet today, came across his video mirrored. Excuse me, mirrored in several places, so he's probably lost a lot of potential views. I don't know if he even knew. And Ivan, yes, you're right, it's been raging for weeks, and it's coming to a bit of a head, really. So tonight I thought we would talk about that, and also talk about Mitchell's video, and we're going to do it on stream and see if we can make him Mitch made. Should be fun. So let me change the scene. There we go. And the topic is on there. Black Swan and Mitchell from Australia, the #1 globe killer. And as you can see, tonight we've got background art again from Mr. Victory. Tonight's is called Romantic Aftermath. Romantic Aftermath. I particularly like this one. Very nice, colourful piece of art. As you can see, his email address is on there. Later on I'll show, I mean that's pretty much the whole image anyway right now, but it's going to be zooming and panning. But I will show the whole image later. As you can see, his email address is on there, mrvictory77@outlook.com. You can purchase his artwork. He's got a whole range of them. I've had a different one showing each live stream. Bitch Mitch. I like that, Tusk. Yeah, he's got quite a number of pieces of artwork. This sort of style and another style. I particularly like these because I do like this abstract. Very interesting. And I actually had a word with him tonight, and he has had contact from some of you guys, which is really nice. So I would say, not only if you want to purchase it, but if you just want to compliment and comment on it, give me an email. I'm sure he'd appreciate it. So where are we in chat? Mutzer Alice missed. Smoke has a mass. It must do. It's all Brownian motion, isn't it? That I remember doing that at school with a jar with little polystyrene balls and little polystyrene balls and ball bearings, bouncing it around. I'm sure that's right. Brownian motion? I'm sure someone. Brownian motion. Might be. Or Brown Ivan motion if he's been at the soy sauce again. So I'll try and get this finished, and then we'll go on to this Black Swan thing. Because Riley did do that original video. I did a debunking of it, and Anthony has not commented once. I made sure that there were links to it in his channel against his videos, but nothing. And he's gone quite quiet lately. Not sure what he's up to, really. Is he going to be another one who's going to disappear off to BitChute or butt shit? Something like that, isn't it? I'm not sure. I must have a look at BitChute, see what's on there, see if we can pull something off for an interesting video at some point. So what's Firestarter Man saying? I'm mind-boggled how Fleurs believe in so many thousands of years, millions of observers, countless scientists' measurements, they think we failed to notice there's no curve. Well, perhaps we were just distracted at the time. Hi, Adam L. Good evening to you once again. I have got a Zip. Not only have I got a Zippo, Manic Mike, I've got two Zippos. I'm just not sure. Oh, here we go. Poop shoot, yeah. I've got another Zippo. My daughter, who just got married, they actually went to Rome, and they brought me back a Gladiator Zippo. So I've got a plain silver one, but I've got this new one. Yay. It was a nice surprise. Shane Rushton's looked at the Black Swan video again and thinks the horizon is low, and he says, it could well be, couldn't it? Because the horizon line was a little vague, but I gave him the benefit of the doubt. And in the Riley one, he played the original video back to front. So it started up the hill, showed both platforms, and then went down to where they put the camera at about 1 foot level. And he made the declaration that if you are coming down, if the Earth was a sphere, then the horizon should get closer. So after I talked about it in my video, I then showed a screen capture from the 1 foot and from the up the hill view of the platforms, and the horizon was nearer. So no matter where it was actually nearer. So he debunked himself in his video. Yeah, TGK2K, Zippos do have lifetime guarantee. My silver one I need to look at because the hinge is very wobbly, but I do use it a lot. Not that much because I hardly smoke. I use it to light fires and things like that for camping. I'm sure that was the case. So, nearly done here. I've been busy today. Done a couple of videos. I did one about someone. I'll keep the name quiet for now because it's a surprise when it actually comes to it. but I did one about a guy who I've spoken to a couple times. Here's a hint: he has been on chat before now and said he would do an undebunkable video for me, but he still hasn't. So I picked another one of his and smashed it. And today, this afternoon, I did one based on my time away with Mrs. Sensible. While I was away, I actually did some filming because I had something in mind. So I put that together into an anti-flat earth video today, and that will be out Thursday, 13th. I've still got nothing for next Friday and Saturday, and because of the way my shift's working, I won't be doing a live stream, so I've got to come up with 2 more ideas. I was actually going to do what I'm doing tonight. What I might do, assuming this goes okay, is snip it out of this live stream and just wrap that up as a video for either Friday or Saturday, so that people can watch the live debunk without watching the entire stream. D Marble just finished a little bitch fest. What's he been up to? What's the Marble Boy been doing then? Don't know what he's been doing. The last thing I saw from D Marble was the business of the probiotics and getting all riled about the advert. You know, Simon Dan did a rip-off version after stealing the idea from me, the little terror. Yes, Quantum Eraser and his oil rigs. Although I don't think it was Quantum Eraser, it was this other guy, BLMS 1234 or whatever the hell he's called. And Quantum has done some explanations on it, and we'll have a look at that because I'm going to give a shout out for another debunker during this. It's a debunker who I have seen a few times, and I realised today I hadn't actually subscribed to him. So I gave him a nice comment and apologised and subscribed. And yeah, we'll do a shout out to him as well. So let's have another quick look through chat before we get started on this. I've got the heating on. It's getting rather warm in here. Normally it struggles a bit when it's very cold outside. Undebunkable, unfalsifiable. That's right, Shane. So I am waiting for this guy to produce this for me, but I don't think it's going to come. Good evening, Brainy Beaver. Hello, you. What was the other one I saw? Christmer. Hello. And hold on. Good evening to you. That's a new name on me. Pleased to see you. Phil Blacker. And I think I'm just about caught up. There was one other message. Oh, Arctic Reflections. Check out Arctic's channel. Some good stuff on there. Isn't there, Arctic? I'm sure that you'll agree. So, I guess we may as well start. Let's see if this works. I'm going to change the scene. Let's see how that goes. And transition. Ooh, funky. I'm going to wait until it comes through to the main screen because it's easier for me to see so I can keep track of what I'm doing. 274727. I probably can't grab a link to it now. If you want to pop onto my Discord or DM me or email me, the link should be below. That'd be great. I'd happily have a look at any ideas anyone's got. Anyway, we've got this up. So we got Mitchell from Australia, #1 globe killer. So it's all about these platforms. But I think everyone knows about it. These 2 platforms that are at a distance of, I don't know, 7 and 9 miles away, which is supposedly too far to see if the Earth was a globe. This is the Black Swan. It's the cast iron proof that the Earth is not a globe. Quantum Eraser has done some stuff about it, and I've got to be honest, not I, and not any other debunkers I've seen, have really done anything of it. And I saw a comment about it somewhere saying, oh, none of the debunkers will touch this. And so that's why I thought, do you know what, I'm going to do this. And then I found out that this chap, Blue Marble Science, has just done a video on it. So Blue Marble Science is the guy who I have watched, have enjoyed, but I had neglected to subscribe to. I'm subscribed now. So what I'm going to do is play some bits of his video, and actually let's grab his link and pop it in chat. So let's get rid of that last bit. pop it in the chat so you can check out his channel, have a look around at some point. Not while my live stream's on, of course, but at some point. And that's right, Cody. Blue Marble ripped it apart. We're going to have a look at some of those bits now because there was just a few bits I particularly wanted to pull out. So let's let that go. Oh, I must switch on. Do you know what? I am on the ball tonight. Remember to switch on the desktop audio, otherwise you'll hear bugger all. Okay, take it away, Blue.
Hello everybody and welcome to Blue Marble Science. Behold the #1 flat earth killer. Say goodbye to the flat earth.
I just love his accent. I'm going to pause it there though because of this photo. Now this photo is not one that came from any of the Black Swan vids. It's another view of the same two platforms. Please note that the platform furthest away, the entire set of legs and some of the body, I think, is hidden beyond the horizon. We'll probably come back to that at a later point. I'm sorry for interrupting you, Blue. Carry on.
You know, Quantum Eraser takes credit for the badly flawed flat earth Black Swan argument. I got a feeling when we're done with him today, he will never have even heard of a swan, much less a black swan. In fact, he won't even know what the color black is. Bend over, Huey, and hold on. I'm about to park that black swan of yours where the sun doesn't shine.
Now, if you see this argument, let's go to this. If you see this argument presented by anyone in any other form than what I am going to lay out and did lay out before, that is word for word, including this modus tollens, with the exact same photo, it is not the argument.
Here's the so-called black swan theory.
Well, we'll skip past the actual Black Swan theory and get onto the modus tollens thing.
Quantum Eraser invokes the modus tollens argument. Now this comes out of propositional logic, and it's formally written that way. It simply means if P, then Q, not Q, therefore not P. Let me give you an example that they use. If an angle is inscribed in a semicircle, that's P. The angle must be a right angle, that's Q. The angle is not a right angle, Q. Therefore, the angle is not inscribed in a semicircle, P. That's the way it should work.
And it's actually quite simple, although I must admit, I think I had to think about that angle and circles thing. I think it actually makes it overcomplicated. But if you said that, trying to think of another way to put it, but I suppose in this example it's saying that if you've got an angle that is inscribed in a semicircle, then it must be a right angle. So if it's not a right angle, then it's not in the semicircle. I mean, it is quite obvious. Probably best to, if you don't grasp it, don't get it. I didn't at first, a couple of times, that example. It becomes clear. So we got if P is true, sorry, if you've got case P, then you must have Q. So if it's not Q, it can't be P. It's basically it. I wanted to see. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the exact bit. Right, so this is basically his breakdown of what Quantum Eraser was saying.
No problem so far.
Oh, I'll go back a little more.
Horizon can be no more than 1.22 miles from an observer at a 1 foot elevation. That's Q. Okay, no problem so far. The apparent horizon is more than 9 miles from a 1 foot observer. Well, that's got to be R.
Subscriber.
Wait a minute, Q. There's no R in modus tollens. Where did you get that from? Therefore, the Earth is not a sphere, P. We got a couple of problems here.
Haven't we just?
First of all, fail number one. That is a false equivalence of the geometric and apparent horizons.
And he's absolutely right. The geometric is the actual physical horizon. The apparent horizon is the horizon you see, which may or may not coincide with the geometric horizon, but probably doesn't, due to refraction.
We do not see the geometric horizon. The Earth has an atmosphere. The atmosphere refracts light, and we see an apparent horizon. This argument is dead at this point, but there's another problem, even if that wasn't wrong. Even if we pretended those horizons are the same, it only suggests that the radius of the Earth is wrong, not that the Earth is not spherical. That's two fails.
And that's all I actually wanted to take from Blue Marble's video. I would recommend that you watch it in full, but really it was this what the hell is it called? Modus tollens logic, and the fact that there's a difference between geometric and apparent horizons. So now let's go back a step and have a look at Mr. Mitchell from Australia with his video, The Number One Globe Killer. It's the same platforms they're talking about.
Is 9.4 miles away. I'm Mitchell from Australia, and this is the number one globe killer. Hopefully by now, all of you have seen this video by BMLSB69. His observer height is only 1 foot. Now that first platform is 6.2 miles away, and platform habitat is 9.4 miles away.
And I'm going to pause it there. Go back to Blue's video. That photo again. You can see that at that point, under the conditions on the day that this photo was taken, you couldn't see all of the body of the further platform, let alone any of its legs, and let alone any apparent horizon beyond it. So basically, if it's not always the same, by definition it changes. So the physical geometric horizon will never ever change, apart from any minor difference due to tides or whatever, but it basically doesn't change. So the change is due to something else. I wonder what that could be. Carry on, Mitchell.
With the horizon far in the distance beyond that. Now I'm going to let you just sit there and take this in, because this is the absolute number one globe killer.
And I'm going to pause it again. There's something else with that picture. I know it's been commented on before. Look at this crane or jib or whatever it is. Bit of a funny shape. Look at this one over here on the left. You can see it's all twisted and deformed. Even the higher jib is all crooked. And why is that? It's because we're not looking through a vacuum. We're not looking through air that is not refracting. It's all being, what's the word? It's all being deformed anyway due to the temperature layers of the air, refraction and bending and so on. So straight away, if it's having an effect on that, it's going to have an effect on other things. But Mitchell, please do carry on.
Modus tollens states, if P, then Q, not Q, therefore not P. If P...
Now, did he get this himself, or has he been trying to copy Quantum Eraser?
P, we live on a globe of radius 3959 miles, then Q, every horizon distance measurement cannot be more than 1.23 miles times the square root of the observer height in feet. Not Q, the geometric horizon is far greater than 2.73 miles.
Let me interrupt you there, Mitch. The geometric horizon is far greater. The geometric horizon will never, ever, ever change. It can't. It's the physical geometry of the Earth. Only the apparent horizon can change.
for 5 foot. Therefore, not P. The Earth is not a globe. But this valid logical conclusion is hand-waved by the globe zealots as word salad.
That's
I'll
word
put this
salad.
devastating picture in simpler terms. Globe believers must have a physical leading edge, the geographical edge to their sphere.
A geographical edge? I think you might mean geometric edge. It's going to go on. I mean, you can see that picture there. I failed to see how he could even have that picture on his computer without dying of embarrassment. But I wanted to go back again to here. Every horizon distance measurement cannot be more than 1.23 miles times the square root of the observer height in feet, which I'm sure is something that he had just at the tip, on his very fingertips or the tip of his tongue. And then,
Times the square root
if I let him
of
carry
the
on,
observer height
it says
in
underneath,
feet. Not
Andrew Thomas Young, PhD astronomer, San Diego State University. Google is my friend. I looked up Andrew Thomas Young, and there is an Andrew Thomas Young, but what I couldn't find was that quote in relation to Andrew Thomas Young. So let me skip on a bit. We'll come back to that as well. Sorry, this is backwards and forwards a bit. The famous... Oh, yes, I'll come back to that as well. Famous Chicago skyline, which we can see. Now, normally you can't see it. On occasion, you can, due to refraction. As we all know. There's another picture of it there. Doesn't show up quite so well, but you can see some of the towers. And then this lovely picture. Absolutely beautiful. Again, clearly showing the entire skyline of Chicago. But I had, there we go, this little clip of film. Turn the sound off. Little clip of film. This is the same Chicago skyline with a superior mirage. So why can't you see all of those buildings all of the time, Mitch? It's because conditions change. You get temperature layers causing the light to bend, so you can see further around the curve. And on occasion, you can't see it at all. Let me go back to his 1.23 miles thing. Oh, wrong window. Where are we, Mitch? 1.23 miles times the square root of the observer in height in feet. Well, I was thinking about that because he said that we can't see more. I've got to find the right bit now. Oh, no.
0.23 miles.
Yeah, that we see 1.23 miles times the square root of observer height in feet. So I got this curve calculator. So if you had the observer height in feet as 1, square root of 1 is 1. And that gives us 1.2 miles to the geometric horizon. But Mitch, just above, with refraction approximation, you see further. So this 1.22 miles is a rough guideline for a geometric sphere, not when you take into account refraction, because he did go on to say that taking an eye height of 5 foot, you'll see quite a bit further, and indeed you will, but it just gets more, of course, gets more and more different between the geometric and the refracted. It accentuates it more. So anyway, I was also thinking about his image his image, this one. When I looked up that quote, I didn't find the astronomer he gave, but I did get a link to, where are we? Was this the one? No, it was this one. 1.23 miles times the square root of observer height in feet. There was this guy called David Senesac. And this other link, aty.sdsu.edu, distance to the horizon, and the quote. So I went and had a look at that page. And I got this, distance to the horizon. And there is his image. All very interesting, I thought. Because here somewhere it does say about, there we go, about 1.23 miles times the square root of the eye height in feet. But of course, that section, Mitch, is entitled with no refraction. So if you had an atmosphere which didn't refract, and I can't see how that would happen, or if you had a vacuum, if we suddenly lost all our atmosphere, then it would work. Because you've got a slightly different diagram here showing a curved path for what you're seeing when you take refraction into account. Well, finally I thought, well, I don't know that he got this image from this page. Perhaps there's somewhere else. So I took that image and did a reverse search on it. And I only got 4 results from two websites. Four, it's the same website twice. Most of it is Latin. Italian, beg your pardon. And I'm sure Mitch didn't get it from there. So I had a look. Oh, I've let it come up again. Had a look at the other one, mintaka.sdsu.edu. Had a look at that. It's the same page. These are the only links for that graphic. Mitch has taken that graphic here that he's got in his video, taken the quote where it says about 1.23 miles times the square root of the eye height in feet, cherry picked it, ignored the fact that says no refraction, and ignored the fact that you get a different diagram with curved light paths when you have refraction. Mitch, that's underhand. It's, as I said, it's cherry picking. You've been caught. It's not a globe killer. You've just been picking whatever you fancy to try and suit your story. That's not scientific. That's dishonest. You've been Mitch made. So at that point, I think we're done there. Let me come back. So it's just me again. Oh, that feels better. I can lose that window. I do apologise for that. It's actually quite tricky balancing all the, trying high IQ research with lots and lots of tabs, and I got lost a few times. Now I will say, I did see someone earlier say about that they disagreed with me, and that's fine, of course. I was saying about the sea changing the distance you can see. Of course, you are right. It's going to depend on the amount, but we're talking about a geometric. Imagine that the ocean was just frozen. You're always going to see the same. You're always going to have the exact same geometric distance, but you're going to get different apparent distances depending on the weather. Hence, sometimes most times you can't see the Chicago skyline. Sometimes you can see some of it. Sometimes you can see all of it quite beautifully, and sometimes you even get superior mirages, i.e. it changes, but the physical size of that ball does not. And as I said, Mitch from Australia, you've been Mitch made. So, any comments, guys? That little section, errors and all and fumbling, I'm going to cut and put out on a video, I think. So I'm wondering what people thought of all that. Arctic reflections, feet, just calculating meters. Yeah, I know, but this is Mitch's calculation. I tend to try and work in meters. I grew up just at the time when meters, decimal system had just overtaken, but most people I knew when I was a kid still used imperial. So I can and do use both, but I try and use metric. I do see I have a guest in the live waiting room. I'm going to bring him in straight away.
speed control.
Hello. Sorry to drop you without warning, Philosopher. How the hell are you, sir?
Oh, I'm doing pretty hell good.
Good, good, good. I wondered if you watched all that. If you were able to sit through me bumbling my way through that.
Oh, well, no, I was watching it. I'm sure I'll catch up to you bumbling.
So what did you think of all this business about this black swan and all that tripe?
Yes. Well, Blue Marble's video was hilarious because I left the comment where Q the flat earthers to pee themselves when they try to debunk this argument.
Oh, I see we got another guest as well. Mitch, I'll bring you in just a minute if you get yourself ready. I can see you got your mic and headphones disabled, so when I see those pop in, I'll bring you in.
Get dressed.
Sorry, mate?
He has to get dressed first.
Of course, yeah. Got his snazzy pyjamas on.
Yeah.
Oh, I see Mitch is there in the chat as well. Hello. What's Glib Mom saying? What I find funny is this oil rig photo thing is what flat earthers are latching onto to deny the globe. I do too, because I can see it at first glance. It makes you think, oh, there's something funny here, but that's where they stop. They need to look into why it looks funny. Why is it that we can apparently see further? You can't just take an observation and call it done. You have to repeat those observations. And as with Chicago skyline, you'll get different results on different days, depending on the weather and the temperature gradient and layers and inversions and God knows what. To be honest, it's all beyond me. What about you, Philosopher? Are you all up on math and stuff?
Yeah, I got the a little bit of the maths down, but well, I just want to say it's so much. It makes it so much easier when the flat earthers debunk themselves, and then we just come in and point it out. It saves me a lot of scrap paper, so I don't have to scribble down equations.
I've always struggled with math. I up to a certain level, I'm okay, and then I just get lost.
I used to be an ace at it until somebody parked a car on my face.
On your what? On your foot or your face?
My face. Well, they forgot a certain characteristic of physics is that two objects cannot occupy the same space at the same time.
Well, what about two flurf brains? I shouldn't think there's any problem with the two of them occupying the same space.
Well, those are just gaseous.
Gaseous.
So they can intermix.
And would they have a pressure gradient?
No, but there is definitely density there.
Yeah, definitely. I see Mitch's headphones become enabled. Let's pull him in and see if he's ready.
Oh boy.
Hello, Mitch. Are you there, sir? We'll give him a chance to get his mic on.
I am indeed. I'm here.
Whoa. You're rather loud. Let me knock you down, sir.
I am so pleased to be here. It's great to see you. I'm glad things are settling down. I've been a busy bee, so I actually do have some stuff brewing, but I have a globe-trotting trip coming up week after next. So this Sunday night, I head back to Boston for a week. Then I come back Thursday evening, and then I'm off to Tel Aviv for 3 glorious days of teaching. And then Wednesday, I fly from Tel Aviv to Krakow, Poland, and teach there. And then I have to fly home to Pittsburgh, which I can tell you is not such an easy affair.
Mitch, I've got no idea where you are, but first of all, it sounds like there's a monster tramping past, and then it sounds like you're in the Church of Notre Dame.
Oh, it does.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's better. There's a massive bong of a bell.
Yeah. Did Big Ben go off?
Something unrelated. My apologies.
That's not a problem. It's just I'm thinking, where the hell is he?
No, I'm home in my bed, Mr. Sensible. And that just what I tell you, that doesn't happen too often these days. I am a road warrior.
Well, it sounds like you've got quite a trip coming up.
I'd say that I was a globetrotter but I don't want to offend anyone.
So,
Well,
I was just
I was going to say, just make sure you remind the pilot every time you fly everywhere to tip the nose down.
absolutely. Are we all going to be in space?
Right, and I'm going to remind him that the gyro compasses don't work. So he better use his instinct and experience to guide the jet across the ocean.
Well,
Use the force.
or he could just use a spirit level, couldn't he, to keep himself level?
Well, all I could say is that water seeks its level, so everything should be fine.
Just an aside question for you, Mitch.
Yes,
If you're visiting Israel, do you have two passports, just in case you wanted to go to some other countries that perhaps aren't appreciative of Israel?
Well, I know I'm okay with going back to Poland, and I don't have an Israel. I'm not an Israeli citizen. I'm only an American citizen.
But I think
So
even visiting can be problematical with other countries.
No, I'll be okay. I'm not even worried about it.
Yeah. I know someone, as part of his work, he's jetting all over the place, and so he deliberately has two passports. So if ever he's in Middle East, he chooses which one to use.
Yeah, I would probably try to get a Canadian or a Irish passport if that were the case. But I really don't have. I can't lay claim to any other place to have a passport from. I'm pretty much, this is it for me. But I think I'll be okay. I'm traveling on business. I'll have a liaison. It's not like I'll be wandering about with wads of cash.
No,
or,
but
you know,
this
snap a stick with my Rolleiflex or anything like that.
well, this friend of mine, it's not that he's got two nationality passports. He just has two British passports. I don't know quite how he did it, whether he said he lost one or whatever. And he uses.
I do actually.
Yeah.
I have a passport and I have a passport card as well.
Yeah.
Passport card is only valid for me traveling into Canada or Mexico or the Bahamas, but it can be used as identification overseas. So God forbid I lose the passport, I have the passport card, which will at least allow me to, kind of talk my way through passport control if I have to. I've every time I've gone abroad, I've always, tried not to freak out about shitting myself if I lose my wallet or lose my passport. You just got to go with the flow. I'm petrified because I don't speak a word of Polish. And I put up a YouTube video, something along the lines of, 20 common useful phrases in Polish. And now I'm more confused than ever. I hope to God they speak English.
I'm sure they will.
I'm absolutely boned, man.
Yeah, he lands on the plane. There's a bunch of people out there with torches and pitchforks.
And
Hello. Sorry, guys. I just to surprise you, I just brought in Chrysler as well. Hello, good evening to you.
Hello.
Listen,
Who let Chrysler in here?
he paid good money to come in here.
But,
don't talk about the bride. Do not talk about the bride.
But it looks like I'm going to be starting to put together my first video for my own channel, Mr. Sensible. So
Excellent.
it looks like I have quite a bit of waiting about time on my hands. So I loaded up my other new machine with all my video editing crap, and I have my good camera. All that stuff can come with me. So I'll get some good footage, and I'll get some. And we're going to talk a little bit about why stupid people don't understand eclipses is what I think I'm going to call it.
Okay.
It's a working title.
It's a total eclipse of the brain.
Wasn't that a song by Bonnie Tyler?
Total eclipse of the heart. Yeah.
Well, Total
That was
Eclipse.
good. That was a good song. That was a good song.
It's going back a
That's
bit.
a great song, actually.
Yeah, the original title of that song was "Why Don't You Understand Eclipses, You Moron."
So when do you think? I'm not trying to hold you to a date, Mitch, but when roughly do you hope to have this first video up and on your channel?
Well, I'll see. Depending on what kind of connectivity one has in Krakow, Poland, I'm going to try and get it done next week, and I have time this week. So I'm going to say within the next couple or 3 weeks,
Okay.
I'll have something. It may not be, it may not be the length of a Bugs Bunny cartoon. It may be the length of a few commercials, but I'll get something out there. I absolutely will. I'm excited about it.
Good. So, I mean, can you do video editing on the move as well?
Yes, I can.
Nice
Don't
one.
need any connectivity for it. Oh,
Nice.
that's my wife, so stand by.
So, Kreismer, how are you, pal?
I'm doing okay. How about yourself?
Yeah, not so bad. Not so bad. Had a busy couple of days. A bit of a tough set of shifts at work. Absolutely manic there. But this is day 3 of 4 days off, so I'm okay right now. One more, and then back to the grindstone again.
Yeah. I remember those days when I actually had a job. Yeah.
Well, Mr. Sensible, I've noticed something.
What's that?
You've been carefully avoiding talking about Simon Dan invading your office.
Haven't I just? Haven't I just?
Yeah, well, we need to get revenge now, you see.
It's not good, is it? Did you see he had posted a comment on that video? He at least he wasn't that yellow. He did come and show his face.
You know what we got to do? We gotta get a bunch of crack operatives, soldiers of fortune, to go in and steal his bust of Nathan Oakley.
Did you say crap operatives?
No,
as in they're no
operatives.
good. Crack operatives, as in they're all on drugs.
All that too.
I couldn't decide which.
Yeah.
You can't have them sleeping on the job. I mean,
or we could perhaps take out the agent.
No, we
there you
steal
go.
the agent. We need to abduct the agent.
What, and brainwash him and have him working for us?
Exactly. That's it. We got to steal Simon Dan's agent.
Well, I'm not so sure because he did try bribery with me. Did you see the offer he made? He's offered.
No, I didn't.
He's offered me. He apologised and said, "I'll send you a pair of socks, Simon Dan socks, but you'll have to pay the postage."
Oh, okay. Now I think he's just trolling.
Well, it's not much of a bribe, is it? Really?
Well, yeah, I mean, he didn't actually say that they were clean socks either.
No.
So he might just be trying to offload some laundry.
That's what I said earlier on. It could well be, couldn't it? We'll see. But he didn't email me. I did put my email address on that video in full view, and he didn't email me. So perhaps it's just a little bit of yellow running down his back.
I think having thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of viewers has gone to his head, Mr. Sensible.
Well, he came in, Mitch. He stayed in character, so I'll give him that. I've got nothing against Dan, nothing at all.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Oh, I've seen some suggestions in the chat to make him a double agent so he can infiltrate Simon Dan's evil lair.
I see. That's the wonderful Global Mom again. And Mum, I didn't see. I hope you have put a link to your channel in the chat, okay? Because I really, really appreciate the help you gave me yesterday. Someone's mentioned Bob Nodell. Thanks, Bob. What's this? Fantarang. Bob Nodell wants to start a flat Earth church so he can't be censored. No joke. What?
Probably for the tax exempt status too.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's openly saying, "I want to commit tax fraud. Look at me."
Yeah.
Probably not the best idea.
Dude,
Everyone in America seems to be doing it, so why not him?
flat earthers aren't the smartest of people.
But wait, isn't science the religion and flat Earth the science? So if he starts
Apparently.
up a church of flat Earth, wouldn't that kind of?
And
The flat Earth is zero science, according to the upcoming video, if I'm not correct.
But many of them also say that all of science points to a flat and stationary Earth.
Well, that's like the kid with the with the chocolate chip cookie all around his mouth, saying that science made me do it. Yeah.
Well, sorry, I just seen that Arctic Reflection said that I should send Dan an "I am Mark Sargent" shirt. Nice one. That's
a
worth
great
it.
one.
I wonder
That's
if
a good
Mark's selling those. And what would be
Oh,
the
he
point?
definitely is.
There's not going to be that
he
much.
probably
I suppose he's cornered the market for everybody who happens to have the name Mark Sargent.
Yeah.
Well, all he did was he erased the "I'm with stupid" part, and then he just put his name.
Yeah, Mark Sargent. He's not really doing so much. Actually, there was someone else I just thought of, just popped up or was mentioned earlier on. And I thought they've gone quiet as well. Can't think who it was, and I can't think if it was someone you guys mentioned or something that was in chat. Never mind. I'm sure it'll come to me.
Well, whoever said it, just say it again. Then.
Yeah, whoever it was who said it, say it again. Excuse me. Where is it again? Not Fantarang. Talking about this church again, saying that he is serious.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Wasn't Nathan Oakley talking about the same thing a while back?
The Church of Nathan Oakley. God, can you imagine it?
That's going to be one of those things that's going to turn into a Heaven's Gate call.
Oh gosh, can you imagine it? Yeah.
Hi, my name is David Koresh. I mean Nathan Oakley.
But without the personality.
Yeah.
With all the personality of a wet napkin.
So yeah, someone like Daniel Pratt, I think he would be a prime victim for that, and he would be a prime leader. Apart from, I don't think he would have the nous to be able to organise it properly, because I don't know if you've seen some of his videos. I've given up watching them properly, but obviously they're all conspiracy. One of the latest things is coronavirus is a conspiracy now. It's all heavily biblical, and it's all they, and the government and the Illuminati.
Yeah.
It's all cultish behaviour, cutting yourself off from everyone else.
Illuminati, as I contend, is a kind of a dog whistle, say, in political theater for anti-Semitism. I'm convinced, or rather, anti-Muslim.
I'm with you on that.
Definitely a gouge out at Freemasons. I could tell you there were people. The Illuminati were real, but as far as I know, there's absolutely no remnant of them in modern time. And I know as many of the high-ranking Freemasons in America and England as anyone. And I got to be honest with you, I'm not certain they could arrange a dinner party, much less indoctrinate the entire world about a false physics, chemistry, biology. I mean, they deny fucking biology. They deny biology. If you deny evolution, you deny biology. They
deny anything.
Really.
Anything that doesn't fit the narrative, they deny. I mean, these people, they'll put their hand in front of their face and say that it was CGI.
Yeah, they didn't have CGI in 1969. They barely had C in 1969, much less.
Yeah, I mean, the whole idea of CGI and that. I remember I was in IT, and I remember in the early 80s I went to some IT show in London, and they were demonstrating some computer with its graphics and printing out an image of one of the little fighter ships from Star Wars, an X-wing or a Y-wing or something like that. And he'd printed out this picture. I thought it was amazing. It was dot matrix. He printed it out, and I asked if I could have this copy printed out. No, it was too expensive. They weren't given. Yeah, I mean the idea of being able to CGI in the 1960s. You've seen those demo clips that they used in the news and things, and then models or obvious hand drawings of a spaceship and a satellite and things like that. That was state of the art then. There's no way they could CGI to convince you it's real.
Back then, they were barely using moving backgrounds at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were using transparencies over film.
Literal backdrops. I mean,
actually,
not CG, not green screen, backdrops.
And actually, philosopher, you're absolutely spot on. If you look at the original Star Wars movie, when they're fighting. Subscriber. Oh, a new
Right
subscriber.
on, dude.
Lovely. When they're showing the Millennium Falcon escaping from the Death Star, they let us escape. There are 4 TIE fighters after them, and if you have a look at that, you can see the square around the transparencies of those ships as they're moving them around. No computer graphics involved there.
Oh yeah, there was another one. There was another one where the Millennium Falcon was sort of like dipping down, and then it sort of flies up over the camera in the shot.
Mm-hmm.
And if you paused it right there, you could actually see little H's from where they were lining up the different frames.
Sorry, Mitch, we're getting feedback
it's
from you.
actually something I have a bit of expertise. Actually, there's a big difference between computer graphics and computer-generated graphics.
Of course.
At the time, they used computer graphics to do all the green screens and all the mats. That was actually done by computer. But all it did was allow them to superimpose things, these pictures of models and glass backgrounds painted on the back of the glass and kind of make it look like stuff was moving. But that was the closest they got. They did use computers to help them edit, but they could not generate realistic looking face at the time Star Wars was made. Computer graphics were
Definitely
extremely clunky. We were in the kind of the 8-bit world at the time, and you would have had to have a massive supercomputer in order to generate a star field that would fool a scientist, or a part of the Milky Way that you could provably map to the sky without recognizing anything different. And that's just because you need tremendous amounts of processing power to do it. It just doesn't exist. Even now, it's
the movie Tron the original movie Tron, 1982.
But can I tell you a story just real quick? And I don't want to take over, but I think you guys ought to know this because I'm going to write this down or talk about it someday. Margaret Hamilton was a fascinating young woman that I met about 25 years ago. And she was the chief programmer for the Apollo missions. She actually wrote not only the programming for the command module, the lunar module, and part of the launch systems that interacted with those. She also wrote all the tests for those things. The software was human rated, is the term that they're human rated, human rated, meaning that the software had to perform, and if the software failed to perform, human life would be immediately endangered. And that's a level of software that supersedes all other levels. And working with her was absolutely fantastic. And she and I had dinner in Cambridge one evening with the rest of the team, and I asked her, I said, Miss Hamilton, obviously some of those photographs have issues. What's the real story there? And she said, well, here's the real honest story. And I'm summarizing, but this is what she said. Especially with the Apollo 11 mission, they only got about 1/10 of the photographs that they wanted to have been taken. For various reasons, the equipment didn't work, and a lot of the films were inadvertently exposed, and they did not come back with really high quality shots. So what they did is they had to take some of the lower quality shots and retouch them, okay? And retouching them is a practice whereby you actually use a very, very small brush to paint on the negative with a microscope. That's retouching. That's likely what she said would happen. And she goes, that was really just because the public expected these are high quality looking photographs, when in fact the original photographs were kind of raggy. And they didn't end up with enough to make a good selection. So they took some that they got, they actually did enhance some, they did post a few up, and that's why some of those photographs look a little weird. It's because it's not that they faked the moon landing. It's just that they put the photographs that came back from Apollo 11 were heavily processed with whatever they had at the time just to make them, publicly digestible, just to make them look good, so they didn't look bad.
Well, yeah,
Also
on
to
Apollo
look
12.
good in front of the Russians.
Right,
because
exactly.
they didn't have
And you notice
professional photographers on board. I mean,
Apollo 12 and Apollo 14 photographs, there's about 15 or 20 as many photographs from Apollo 12 as Apollo 11, but they're not as interesting because it's the second one.
well, like I said just then, they didn't have professional photographers on board, so they had to do what they had to do to get those images.
They had to engineer the photographic equipment so that it would operate under the conditions on the moon, which, as you know, could be classified as particularly harsh. For example, they were concerned, like, what would happen if the sunlight shone on the camera? It would be so strong that it would probably melt the camera. So they had to take a lot of their shots after sundown on the moon, so that it cooled off enough where they could play with some of these toys. Otherwise, if you had them out in the sunlight, they would superheat and melt.
Hold on,
That's
Mitch.
one of the reasons why the LEM is coated in gold, very, very thin gold foil, is not to hide anything, but it's to keep that hot sunlight off the equipment from, harming or melting the equipment, the intense rays of the sun.
Yeah, the foil and the cardboard is just that. It's just screening. I hate whenever they sort of say, "Oh, it's made of sticky tape and cardboard." It's just a covering. The actual people were in a pressurized sphere within. But what you were just saying about sundown, my understanding was with each of the moon landings, it was during a period of daylight only. There are no night shots. Because of course, day would be around 2 weeks long.
Right, but what they would do is they would take the photographs at twilight, so that the area was lit but the sun was down. That was the most favorable time before it got too cold. And that's when most of the photographs. You can't take photographs of the sun directly overhead.
No.
So they waited until the angle was best. As a matter of fact, there was one of the Apollo 11 pictures, you can actually see the sun reflecting in one of their visors when they're taking a picture. So it must have been pretty low in the sky.
Well, also the regolith would cause so much glare with the amount of exposure they had to use. So it wash out a lot of the pictures. A lot of pictures got just scrapped right there because they're washed out.
Yeah, because there's no atmosphere, on the moon to protect them from the sun.
Yeah, and they say, well, why aren't there stars? See, it's totally fake. There's not even stars. Don't you think if there's this huge operation to fake the moon landing that someone might have said, hey, we should just paint in some stars in the picture?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'm totally sure that they went through all this trouble and they actually just forgot something so obvious.
I just don't understand how people can't grasp about the light levels, though, because you can see the glare coming off the regolith and off how bright white the suits are. So why do they think you'll see lights that are really, really faint? You can't do that in the daytime. If you take a picture of someone stood near a window with the sun streaming in, you'll just see a black shadow. You won't see their features. It's exactly the same thing.
It's also, these people maybe live in cities and they don't understand the difference between when you look up at the night sky, and you're in the middle of the city, you're barely seeing any of the stars. You're only seeing the most prominent ones. Go out into the country where there's no light pollution at all, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa! It looks like those really touched up space pictures they do in the movies and stuff.
Doesn't look real, does it? When we get a particularly dark night and we see some of the Milky Way, it's astonishing. And in this country, we don't really see it very well at all anyway.
I'm not to where I live. I live out in the country, and anywhere there's some really good prime locations. You go star viewing, and you can see parts of the Milky Way and everything. I mean, it's beautiful in some places.
I saw the greatest example of this because back when I was a kid in school, at one point in Hawaii, on the island of Oahu, there was an island-wide power failure. Like the grid for the island just completely fell apart.
So in Oahu.
Yeah, and looking up at the night sky, I was like, "Whoa," because you could see everything. I was like, "Oh my god, I think I can see all the way across the galaxy now."
Mm.
You know, all those Midwestern pictures I had seen. You know, I thought, "Oh well, that must be long exposure or something." And then I look up, it's like, "Oh, that's the difference light pollution makes."
Yeah, you can see nebula sometimes even. It's I say it's beautiful. It's what it is.
What I would like to see is the Northern Lights, because the one thing that's always puzzled me is when you see film of it, they never make clear if it's sped up or not. Is it really waving like this, or is that just sped up and it moves very slowly?
It moves slowly.
Right. Yeah. When I was stationed in the Army, 1984 to 1990, I was in Fort Drum, which is in very, very far upstate New York City, along the border with Quebec, across the St. Lawrence River, which drains from Hudson's Bay. And you could see it was the darkest skies I ever seen because we were so far away from any big cities. And the Milky Way was absolutely spectacular.
Mm.
And we saw, just with binoculars, we saw amazing things up there. I mean, it was just unbelievable. Beautiful shots of the Milky Way, just laying down and looking up at the sky. And when I was there one time, during a period of high sunspot activity, which means the sun was putting out more high energy photons usual in our direction, in of course a part of the spectrum that we cannot see, but the atmosphere interacts with, and that's what causes the aurora. And when you see it, it looks like, to me, like when you watch a curtain kind of flapping, like when you shake a curtain and it kind of propagates along the edge of the drapery like a wave. That's what it kind of looks like. It's slow. It's really quite slow.
But you can see it moving.
Ripple. You can see, absolutely. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Think of like the movie theater, right? You know how they have those 30-foot tall curtains on the stage, right? Just think of like somebody put a fan in the quarter of the theater, and it's just gently swaying the curtains. It's really amazing to see, but actually, I've never seen it with my own naked eye.
Well, I'd certainly love to see the Northern Lights.
Oh yeah, I hear it's just captivating.
I see Casual Spaceman, you're here in chat. If you feel that you wish to, please feel free to jump into the live waiting room. But I understand fully, of course, if you don't have time or want to rush off or just don't fancy it, that's fine too, pal.
Well, he has to fly casual, but not look like he's flying casual.
That's right. I don't know, Chewy. Fly casual.
I saw a Family Guy, little bit of Family Guy, where they were making fun of that particular scene in Star Wars. And then, so you know they have the Imperial ship, right?
Yeah.
So the ship, like, the wings are like its arms, and then like carefully like tiptoes past the cruiser.
I just love those films. I know they're a bit corny, but I do love them. At least they try to construct an alternative universe that makes some sort of sense.
I'm just so impressed that he managed to basically make what CGI would have looked like back then, except he did it with models. And it, you think probably like if you never saw it today, yeah, they used computers to build all that. No, they didn't. They actually built the models.
What, those people who did Wallace and Gromit?
Yes, try thinking. We're talking Star Wars again.
Sorry, get them confused.
God, these headphones tiring my ears.
Crikey.
Mitch, you got a lot of feedback.
Yeah, Mitch, your mic picks up everything unless it's disabled like that. I don't know what
You
your
have
setup
headphones.
is right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to be vigilant. My apologies.
No, that's
No
okay.
worries,
But I guess you've not got separate headphones. You got the mic on the headphones again. Is that what it is?
No, I haven't any mic at all. I'm just here, so she's listening. So if I get on the headphones, then it's all me. So
just say you have some very important business to conduct right here. It's all a government operation. You know, like how the federal agents will like say, "I need your car." You know, you say, "Federal agent, I need your headphones."
That's an actual thing in the States, isn't it? They can just what's the word? What is the word? But basically take.
Confiscate. Confiscate.
Yeah, but there's a proper word for it.
Appropriate.
I don't even think that's the word.
That's it. Appropriate. Appropriate.
Is
yeah.
it? So
Yeah, they can do it. Basically, if they wreck your car, you just like file like 300,000 pages of paperwork, and then maybe the government will reimburse you.
See, I don't know how it would stand here. Whether an officer could. It's not appropriate. There is a proper word for it, isn't there? Perhaps someone in the chat can come up with it. But I don't know in the UK if they could do that.
Yeah, it's not something that regularly happens, though.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not every day that aliens are invading, so they don't do that quite often.
Commandeer. That's the word. Vital Spark.
Commandeer.
Thank you very much. They commandeer the vehicle. Commandeering Tusk as well. Yeah, and Demon Orb. So there you go. That's the word.
Oh, you guys with your science and knowledge word. I was going really good on appropriate, guys. You could have just. You guys in the chat just all threw me under the.
Throw you under the bus. Yeah, absolutely. Made yourself look very silly. Incredibly silly.
Whose channel is this anyway? I mean, am I on the right, Mr. Sensible?
A very sensible channel, this one. And I see that guys there are having fun with Flat Earth Aussie Jesus. Yeah.
You need an arch rival named Mr. Nonsensible.
Wow, there you go. There's an option for someone to start a channel, Mr. Nonsensible. Or Mr.
What do you
Silly.
mean? I'm
or
right
here. Hey guys, did you have?
We still have to get back to Simon and Dan though. I can pick locks really good, so I can totally get in and get that.
I've never tried picking an ordinary lock, but those bicycle combination locks. I remember years ago when I was a kid, I'd already knew how to do this, and someone I was with bought one, and I said, "Why'd you waste your money on that?" And he said, "Well, I needed a lock," and I said, "Look." And I picked it in less than 2 minutes. I could probably do it quicker, but less than 2 minutes. He took it straight back to the shop.
Well, yeah, I would do the same thing. I assume you're referring to that cable lock with the 4 tumblers that you turn.
That's right. There's a very easy technique. Very easy technique.
You
Perhaps you better not reveal it.
Feel for the
Perhaps we better not reveal it on here, philosopher.
Oh well, nobody's going to use these. Nobody uses these locks anymore. They actually use proper locks.
I don't know.
I actually have a channel I'm subscribed to called Lock Picking Lawyer, where he does lock picks all kinds of locks. It's actually fascinating to watch him do it.
It is fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah, Julie and I are big fans of lockpicking Blair. We know he's out of Philadelphia on the other state, and nobody's quite sure who he is, but that guy could sure pick a lock. God damn.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it was like I got into lock picking a long time ago, but then I sort of put it down because I never really got a proper lock picking kit. And, it's like I didn't have a whole lot of locks to pick, and I started watching those channels because I had a little too much time on my hands. And then I started getting back into it, and I was like, "Oh, geez, I'm better at this than I thought." And now I can crack a lot of padlocks in usually about 30 seconds.
Oh, you broke up a bit at the end there, philosopher.
Oh, I was saying now at this point, I can break through a lot of locks in 30 seconds. Padlocks, and I mean, don't buy master locks, people. Don't buy
No.
master locks. Master locks
No.
are the worst kind. Oh, sure, they might be strong on the outside, but some of them you can open with almost a screwdriver. Really, it's that bad.
Or I'll just get a couple drops of mercury and scratch it up a little bit, put the mercury on it, and it'll break it within like a couple minutes.
Don't even wait that long. A lot of them you can just jiggle with the tumblers a little bit because the warding is pretty wide and the pins just fall right into, especially when they're worn down.
Well, I'm just going to take this opportunity. I'm just going to put you guys on silent for a moment. I'm just going to take this opportunity to thank my patrons. With massive thanks to all my patrons, including new patrons Alice Vangstrom, John Roswell, TechBlog, Pyro Kitty Cat, Claire Johnson, Mr. Victory and Brian A. Shannon, and my latest patrons Pi Parrot, Gunnar Olsen and Sean White. Thank you all so very much. And now here's the full image of Mr. Victory's background, this beautiful image called Romantic Aftermath that's been playing during this stream. And as you can see, you can contact him, Mr. Victory 77 at outlook.com, either to find out details about purchasing or what formats he does, because I think he does print, he may do clothing, I'm not sure what else. But even if it's just to compliment him, I think that would be nice. Anyway, let's get back to the show. I nearly said something else. Guys, carry on.
Wait. Oh, quiet. Mr. Sensible's back.
Yeah. What do you mean? I could hear you talking. I had you switched off so that everyone else couldn't. I could still listen to your rubbish.
Well, everything has to be conspiracy, don't you know?
Yeah, but you wanted to get back to Simon Dan.
Your conspiracy is a conspiracy. Wait, what?
Well, reification fallacy, flat Earth, NASA. Yeah.
You're presupposing it. You're presupposing it all.
One of these days, I'm going to actually construct a proper Ditch Gallop of all the excuses all into one line.
That would be interesting.
Hit one of them with it.
That would be interesting.
It might take a few minutes, but it'll be pretty funny to watch our reaction.
Yeah, well, why not give it a go?
Oh, I need prep time for this because there are so many excuses.
No, I didn't mean this minute, but I mean give it a go. Put it together, and perhaps you can write it down because I got a feeling that you'll be on another live stream, and then you can splurge it all out in one go. But I did want to ask you, how is your site? Did you launch? Because I can't remember the date.
Oh yeah, we had our first show.
How'd it go?
We were going pretty good until YouTube decided it had other ideas.
Which two?
Yeah, YouTube just stopped working for
Oh, what happened?
Well, we do have another one coming up today.
Yeah, today, actually.
Ooh. Tell more.
It would be at 6 p.m. Pacific, 6:30 p.m. Pacific. So.
What's that in real money?
Well, that's 4 hours from now.
So about
4 hours, sorry.
About 1:30 in the morning. Lovely. I'm going to be tucked up. I'm going to be tucked up in bed.
No. You are the power of squirrel compels you. You must.
Red or grey?
Come from Admiral Whiskers. He only has 3 days to retirement. I mean,
well, they always have 3 days to retirement.
Well, yeah, because he has Alzheimer's. But I mean, don't rag on him about that.
Who has Alzheimer's?
Admiral Whiskers. He's one of the squirrels that runs our operation.
Okay. Are you allowed to give his name out like that?
Yeah, he has Alzheimer's, so he won't remember.
It's okay. He's CGI. We'll just wipe the memory and start over again.
Mm.
But I just want to quickly put out there that all the flat earthers that keep talking about they and them, Well, if you want to address they and them, I'm right here.
You are they?
I am right
or
here too.
which one
We
is
are
they
the
and which one
they.
is them?
We are the they. We are the them. We are the one who is many. We
You're
are
the black site.
the NASA Black Site 69.
Also known as a bunch of total nutters.
No, we're not crazy. Everyone else is crazy.
Yeah, keep talking. Keep telling yourself that. Keep telling yourself that.
It's a perfectly good argument from an insane person's point of view.
Yeah.
You know how they say, like, the crazy people always say that they're the only sane ones and everyone else in the world is gone. Well, I represent that remark.
You resemble that remark.
Yeah.
I represent it though.
Sorry, guys, I was just looking at something on my Discord while you two were waffling on about goodness knows what. I don't mean to be rude at all.
I see.
Yeah. See, now I know why Simon and Dan invaded his office right there.
Yeah, well, I'm still checking and listing everything that's missing. But thankfully, he didn't get hold of my video about the soy sauce. I presume you two guys have seen the video?
Oh, yeah, don't remind me.
I assume you two guys have carried out the experiment yourselves.
No.
Oh, Big Bo. Oh, I thought he was. I thought he was great though. I deliberately did not take the mickey out of him at all. It was just not needed. It was just fun. The whole thing itself was fun.
I was very disappointed in the chat there though. While that was going on, while I was watching it, because I tried to start and nobody followed.
I saw that, Philosopher. I did, but I was trying to keep up and respond to as many people as I could. But you're right, no one else did.
Yeah, see, the proper way to spell it's not N-O-O-O-O, it's N-U-U-U-U.
But someone told you needed more N's, didn't they?
Yeah, that's what they told me at the last calculus meeting. I needed more N.
Ooh,
well, I can put the Q to the R with the P, and then just go to KP, and then go to the ACLU and the NBA, and I don't know. I jumbled my acronyms too badly there. Sorry, I tried the word salad. I'm not on it this morning.
Oh, we got lots of news in the chat.
No, guys, N-U-U-U-U-U.
And you. There you go. Matt got it right.
Okay, we have a winner.
Well, I don't know if you remember seeing my official new girl, Little Miss Victory, Mr. Victory's daughter, with a little animation. Well, she is going to appear. I'm not sure if it's my video on Tuesday or Wednesday. I can't recall. I did let them know. Yeah, she's a lovely little girl. Have you seen her or heard her, guys? I can't remember if she was on when you were around or not.
Well, I can't remember what I did yesterday, so don't look. I seriously don't remember what I did yesterday.
Wait, that was a yesterday? What happened yesterday?
There was a yesterday, yeah. Guys, I just say that at this time, I'm planning to run until just after 11:30. The shills start at 11:30. I'll plan to run to about 11:35 to make sure that we're up and running, just in case there's any delays, so no one's hanging about. And I'd recommend after this popping over, because I believe they got 2 guests on tonight. One who I've never heard of before, called the Godless Scummer, and Conspiracy Cats. So that should be good for a laugh.
Sweet.
Yeah, it is sweet. So we'll make sure we give a link right towards the end.
Great.
I got a thing with Conspiracy Cats stuff.
Go on.
Okay, now, did you? I don't know if anyone's ever really noticed this. You have to look really carefully, but I suspect, and maybe I'm just being conspiracy theorist here, but I suspect that Conspiracy Cats and Baldy Cats might be the same person.
Wait, What? I don't see the. I honestly do not see the resemblance there. I
I'll
have
never
no
be-
clue what you're talking about.
No, dude, you got to look. It's something about the eyes and the background.
Well, it could be. Although I think Baldy Cats lives in the
possibility.
kitchen.
Well, there's just something there. I don't know. I'm just not. He even has the same last name. I mean, I think maybe they're twin brothers, but I think they might actually be the same.
I'm just going to change the subject back to soy sauce again for a moment, because the Casual Spaceman says that he thought it was batshit bonkers, but after a while, I kind of thought it might be a bit kinky. I like soy sauce. Well, Casual, there you go. There's a topic for another day.
I've been
Okay,
saving
now-
that. I've been saving that video for tonight too. So I hope I'm not going to expect it.
Oh, you'll enjoy it, Mitch, I'm sure. I hope you got some soy sauce to the ready.
But wait until he figures out that you had taste buds in your anus too.
You have taste buds on your heart.
You do. You do.
In your lungs too.
That's right. In the on the cilia of your airways. Where else? In your brain and I can't. A placenta, if you're of the lady kind, who is of the pregnant lady kind. Yeah, Casual.
What?
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
There's taste buds all over your body. I mean,
Well,
they're not connected to your brain.
No, that's right. They're taste receptors rather than buds.
Yeah.
And
Sorry, receptors.
It's using different cells because those particular cells, they're not really meant to be taste buds specifically. It's just that they're meant to be sensitive to the slight chemical changes, just like in your throat and lungs and stuff, to detect contaminants and irritants. Just like your tongue is sort of like, I mean, that's the gateway to the rest of your digestive system. So your tongue kind of is supposed to tell you, hey, don't put that down there.
And see, that's also a good argument against intelligent design, because who would design a body like that? I mean, using the same thing. Yeah, it's silly.
Well, intelligent design, that theory is ridiculous because, I mean, you ask any mechanical engineer, you look at the knee joint. The knee joint itself is the worst possible design you could use for a joint because it's just a hinge joint.
Yeah.
It doesn't need all this. It doesn't need all the kneecap and all that stuff. If there was intelligent design, it would have been built simpler. Like maybe would have been built more like an elbow.
Well, I tell you what, let's have that topic next. But just before we do, we got someone new in the live waiting room. Someone called Flint, who I've not spoken to before. I'm giving him a few seconds that the chat comes through, so he gets a little bit of warning, and then I'm going to pull him in, and perhaps we can talk about intelligent design, because that's a topic that's dear to my heart. That got me into the whole conspiratard, religitard type thing, all the bull crap that you see. So let's bring in Flint, and we'll find out a little something about him or her. Hello, Flint. Good evening to you.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm doing well. Currently, actually looking for a job in space engineering.
Okay. And this is obviously your first time on here. Have you ever gone live on anyone else's channel?
Actually, on Planner Walk's channel I was once. And
Oh,
yeah.
that guy. I know that guy.
Oh, that guy, yeah. Oh, God. Better walk.
Flint, do I detect a little bit of an accent there? Something a little Norwegian, perhaps?
Nah, you can try again, but the flag has a cross in it.
I'm thinking Scottish.
No.
Nah.
No, not Scottish. No.
I just guessed.
Finnish,
Way
Swedish,
way
Norwegian, I would have said.
Nah. Even though I can speak a little bit of Finnish, it's not my language. I mainly speak German.
Yep.
And some other people of my country also speak French, Italian, and Romansh.
That's not Swiss, then, is it?
Yes, it is.
Yes!
I guessed that first.
Oh, did you? Sorry.
I said Switzerland.
Yeah, I was just going with Scottish just to tick
You
somebody
can't get away with it.
Scottish. So
Well,
anyway,
no, Scottish people
Like,
don't
going
have
completely,
accents.
I was going with completely wrong. Is what I was going
and
for.
you succeeded.
Yes.
So anyway,
Well,
a big welcome to you, Flynn.
I have one of your army knives and really fabulous. I must say.
Yeah. I've like 10 lying around somewhere. I don't know where they all are. But one is on my belt.
you know,
All I
I
have are
used,
machetes. All
I
have
used
are
to fix
machetes.
your watches, but I didn't fix very many of them because they don't break.
Well,
Yeah.
I came across a pretty big Swiss Army knife years and years and years ago, and it had little blades and the can openers and the scissors and the tweezers and goodness knows what else, and it had a knife and a fork. How the hell can you use the knife and the fork at the same time?
Yeah, that's actually a good question.
You have to get two.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
It's
Excellent
a selling
question there.
tactic. They get you to buy two of them.
Well, it must be. So, Flint, we were just starting on a topic of intelligent design. Do you know anything of this?
Only a little. I mean, I'm working well. I'm trying to get to be an engineer. So yeah, intelligent design is
Oh,
something of my part, which I do. I design electronics, so I try to design intelligently.
I
Oh,
would hope
see,
so.
I would hope so.
Flint is just trying to stay in the real world. What a letdown, man! You gotta come to fake flat Earth with.
I already do.
So, do you have a channel, Flint?
Not on YouTube, but I do my stuff on Twitter and mostly really on math. So
Okay.
for most people, a little bit boring, and it is not an official, and it's not linked to my account somewhere. So I have everything that goes on there on that account, and everything else that is my private and public account is there. So yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, intelligent design, as I said, I really got into finding out about that quite a few years back, and of course, there's all the evolution or anti-evolution debunks, so proving evolution things like the giraffe's laryngeal nerve. I presume you guys all heard about that,
Oh yes,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah,
an
I heard
absolute
about
slam dunk, or it's the worst design of an intelligent design of ever.
Well,
Yeah.
in electrical engineering, that's just bad wiring. I mean, you don't wire all the way one place and then bring it all the way back up. I mean, you want to preserve wire.
Yeah, so basically, I can tell stories about unintelligent design there on the PCB scale. Yeah, I mean, at the company I worked first, basically, because somebody was so intelligent to design it so perfectly that the whole system actually went up in flames.
Oh, that sounds like the last 4 tempo I own.
What the?
I could definitely tell you about unintelligent design because I actually made a good living for a while ripping out all of the electrical, like all of the wiring out of American cars and actually wiring it properly. So, they wouldn't have problems like, oh yeah, the ECM just cut out. Why did the ECM cut out? Because there was a loose wire that was rubbing on the horn and it just ate through from engine vibration. So yeah, you're just driving along and then all of a sudden the engine just says, nope, done.
Well, without going into cars too much, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I used to have an Austin Princess, which was a particularly crappy British car, but it was very, very comfortable, I must admit. Anyway, it was an old one, and I'd gone with a few mates, and we'd gone to a demolition derby for the day. Brilliant stuff. And at the end of the day, I started the ignition, and smoke poured out the dashboard. It was pouring out from under the bonnet. Switch it off, quick. Lifted the bonnet, and all of the wiring loom was melted. You could see bare wires, dripping plastic, and oh my goodness, this car is had it.
Talking about bad cars.
Well, I thought, what have I got to lose? Let's just try starting again. Otherwise, I've got to get recovery to get home. And I really carefully started the ignition, and it worked. And it was never a problem again. It fixed itself, and it always had that melted loom. And they were renowned for failing and needing the entire wiring loom replaced. Mine never did. It basically cured itself.
Well, two things on that. I just want to throw in really quick. Was number one that you just have to cook them a little bit. That's all. That fixes everything. But number two, the fact that you carefully turn the key, as if that makes a difference. Really,
I know.
Like you turn the key very gently. Just like you don't want to turn the key too hard.
No,
and might ram the
not too hard.
through.
Not too hard.
I'll tell you about that. My friend had this old Ford truck. I have no clue. I can't remember the name of it right now, the type, model, or anything.
Doesn't really matter.
But yeah, it doesn't really matter. It's a Ford. I mean, you know,
just a car for wheels.
Fix or repair daily.
He was living. He was living with me at the time, so he parked the truck outside, came in the house. About 30 minutes later, I look outside. I'm like, dude, your truck's on fire. It literally caught on fire. While sitting in the parking lot, no key in the ignition, nothing. It just randomly set itself on fire.
Me with my Ford Tempo. I was at a gas station, right? And so we filled it up with gas, and we were already having some transmission problems. So we're like, okay, I'm just gonna try to limp this home. So we fill it up with gas, turn the key, click. Okay. I don't imagine something went wrong just sitting in the gas station. Then there was smoke. Then there was fire. I'm at a gas pump in a gas station. I see smoke. Pull up the hood. There are flames coming out of the wiring loom.
I can only assume you didn't turn the key gently, did you?
Yeah, that's the problem. I didn't turn the key gently enough. That's what it was. But so I have a car on fire right next to a gas pump. Like I yell at him, "Fire! Help me! Push it! Push it! Push it! Push it!" We shoved the car to the side of the lot. Thankfully, there wasn't enough to sustain that fire. But when I actually looked at it again, it's like, oh no, everything was good. Like I pulled the battery immediately, and that stopped the fire. But I just looked at it and was like, yeah, totaled. It's a Ford Tempo, by the way. So don't worry about it. We bought it for $50. It ran for $50.
Well, you can't complain then, can you?
No, not always.
Can't complain.
That sounds somehow like the story of my life with the cars I've so far had.
I mean, I would think that if design was intelligent at all with us, then we might have been intelligent enough to design a car that would at least wait until after we got away from the gas station.
Well, I mentioned car, and I said briefly, and we've got onto cars again. Let's try get back to intelligent design.
I'm trying to do a callback here.
We got the laryngeal nerve. Another obvious one is the eye, with the optic nerve passing in front of the back of the eye, giving you a blind spot. That's not very intelligent either.
No, not at all. I mean, well, if you just look at what happened to my back from just because of the degenerative joint disease, the osteoporosis that I have with you imagine a ball joint, right? If it's all yoked out, so it just flops around. That's pretty much what happened to my back. That's why I'm in the chair. But if it's such an intelligent design, why would that even happen? Because I could sit there and engineer the bones to actually have resisted that.
Yeah, that's not logic. I mean, you can't. That may be true, but that's not any sort of logical proof against intelligent design. The proof against intelligent design is that design varies too much for it to have been designed by a single entity, and there's evidence of emerging design and and that means that design is continuing to change, so it's observable. So I don't understand. The intelligence design is an excuse to attribute what we see with our very eyes divine origin. There's no reason for it. Things are what they are, and I think that's good enough for me. It's apparently not good enough for everybody.
Evolution is a much better explanation of everything because it's in theory.
Well, as Ken Hovind says, I'm not prepared for that.
That was good. I've got a super chat. Sorry, guys. I've got a super chat coming through. For some reason, it's taken a while to get through to OBS. I'll have to wait. I have seen that super chat. I'll read it in a moment. However, we have another. It's just now it comes through. Excellent. From a super chat from Keiden Space, who I've got to stretch this screen across, who has super chatted €10, saying, "Good to see someone sensible on YouTube. You are in a small minority. Love your vids. Thanks. Keep them coming." Well, cheers and thank you very much for that, Keiden Space. I really appreciate it. Oh, and yeah, go on. Oh, and Mitch Goldstein, he's got one coming through. So let's give you the shout at the same time, Mitch. Mitch has just chatted $2 US saying, "We love you, Mr. Sensible." We love you too, Mitch. Thank you.
We do love you, Mr. Sensible.
I just want to respond to the first one. Yeah, finally someone sensible. Here? Where?
Yeah. Well, guys, I got a treat for you because we have someone else waiting in chat. I've given Colin the heads up to say I'm just about to bring him in.
Oh boy!
And this person is from the dark side. This person is a flat earther. But absolutely. But his name is his moniker is Flat Earth New Zealand. He's a good bloke. He's been on here before, so we can have a good chat, I hope. But I'm sure you guys will be. But I just ask, let's not keep it flat, but let's keep it polite, okay? So I'm going to bring in Flat Earth New Zealand. Hello, Flat Earth New Zealand. How the devil are you, sir?
G'day, Mr. Sensible. How are you?
Not so bad, not so bad. As you can see, we got a few others in here. We got Mitch, who's one of my patrons. We got Flint from Switzerland, Kreismer, and Philosopher of Nonsense. And you guys, this is Flat Earth New Zealand.
Hey.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah,
you too.
Good to meet you. We'll play nice if you play nice, as long as you're not like some rude people that we know.
I always play nice.
He does. You do. Yeah. It's been good, hasn't it, Flat Earth New Zealand? We haven't spoken for a little while.
No, we haven't spoken for a while. I've been quite busy. I've moved.
Okay. What, from New Zealand?
No. I don't think I can leave. I don't think I can leave the country. So,
what, they won't let you out, or you just love it too much?
I'll fall off the edge.
I think it's too bloody long to swim.
No, I've been. So I've moved to Napier, which is if you check out my YouTube channel. And no, Mr. Sensible, you're not allowed to debunk it. I've put out a video of some Flat Earth proof locally from Napier. Which, it's only my first video, so it's...
Well, Flat Earth New Zealand, if you want to post a link to your channel in either general chat or lounge, just tell me which. If you wish, I'll then post it into the side chat as a bit of a shout out for you. But I suspect you'll get a lot of people who will be making comments. But, that's going to happen anyway. It happens to all of us.
Yes.
But if you want to shout out for your channel, then please feel free to put a link in it. I'll happily shill you out, okay?
Okay. I'll have a look. And yeah, I've got a baby on the way, so...
Oh, congratulations.
Wow,
thank you.
How far off?
So it's only just started, so she's like 10 weeks.
Next week you're starting.
I was about to say, did you track this on Amazon or?
No, but it's been really fun practicing making babies. I can tell you.
Yeah.
Oh, the practice is the best part, really. After that, it's all downhill.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah. I've got two. I've got two adult daughters, and now one on the way. So.
Congratulations to you and your partner, Miss Flat Earth New Zealand or Mrs. Flat Earth New Zealand.
Well, I tell you what, she's very, very stunning.
Is she?
And I was talking about a marketing strategy, probably using her as I missed that. I don't know how to.
What, are you trying to sort your link out?
Yeah, where do you go to get your link to your channel?
If you just find your video, and then cut and paste the link. You can drop it in the either in the lounge or the general chat, which is a few rooms above where we are now. And just tell me which one you dropped it in, and then I'll cut and paste it into the side chat, because I don't think you can paste it in the side chat. And there's no rush. You do that while we're all chatting, and then just tell me when you're ready. I'll do it then. So, yeah, we've got a flat earther in now, so perhaps we should move on to... Oh, I see it. I've got it. I shall post that now. So I've not seen a video, but here we go in the side chat. Flat Earth New Zealand's... You said it's your new channel, your first video, is that right?
It's the second one, actually. The first one, I did a meme compilation to Owen Benjamin's OTPHJ.
OTPHJ?
Over the pants hand job.
Okay.
I think we already saw that on Mr. Sensible's last video.
He sung that on, at the Flat Earth conference.
Well, maybe I should have a look at your video. Or are you saying I'm not allowed to do a debunk? Should I steer clear and let other people do it, Flat Earth? Oh, I'm going to try and call you Fens for Flat Earth New Zealand, if that's all right. Because it's just a bit of a mouthful otherwise.
Well, just Fez, because it ends with a Z, right? So Fez, yeah.
A Z? It ends with a Z. What would you say, Fens? Would you say a Z or a Z?
Len.
Hello? Would you say a Z or a Z in New Zealand?
Either. Z.
Okay. UK, it's a Z.
Actually, that's a really odd thing. I don't mean
depends
to...
Sorry.
Oh, no. I was just like, why do you call it Z? I mean, instead of Z. I was curious about it.
Why not?
Okay, well, fine then.
When I say the alphabet chords, like say ABCD, it's a Z. But if I say the alphabet backwards, I start Z. Interesting.
What if you start it upside down?
My
Nana. He's in New Zealand after all.
My Nana taught me the alphabet backwards when I was a kid, so it's one of my hidden talents.
Yeah. You'd be great at a DUI stop in America.
Yeah.
ZYX, the SRQP, that one?
Yeah, ZYX, WV, UTSRQP, ONM, LKJ, OHG, FED, CBA.
Show off.
Very useful for drunk, by the way.
Well, the only time I went to the States, I had endless people saying what a lovely Australian accent I had. Go figure.
I've been to conventions and I managed to fully confuse people from where I'm actually from. So they were guessing anything but not Switzerland.
So I got it on. Well, I said what was it? I said Norway, and then I said Norway, Sweden. It is when you said what was it? German. I forgot what you said now. But you said Romanish or something was the last one, wasn't it? Romansh, and that's what got it for me.
It's just the only language in Switzerland which is unique to our country. Even worse, each valley has its own dialect.
Oh no!
Which is basically its own language.
Mitch, we're getting your feedback again, Mitch. There we go.
Yeah. Yes.
So, Fens, I will have a look at your video. I've no idea. Maybe I'll watch it and I'll think, my goodness, he's right. The Earth is flat. Otherwise, maybe I'll do a debunk. But I'll be gentle, I promise.
Oh, well, because I've left it easy because there was a couple of bits I needed to put graphics in, and I couldn't do it. Just to show where the horizon line should have been. And it's really hard to see the point that I'm talking about, but you can just clearly see it. But it was a photo off my phone, so it was quite hard. But I'll do some more, no doubt, because there's
Fens, if I might ask, what color belt do you wear in the flat earther community? I mean, I assume you go with the ice wall, the firmament, the sun and the moon inside the dome. Is that like your model of how it works, or is there something perhaps like different?
My model is we don't know everything. Like, so mine's just really what can be observed without having. Yeah, basically.
Before I jump out, if you guys, okay, I actually saw something from the Royal videos, and I think it's very interesting about quantum mechanics, and it really made me think a little bit about flatness. And basically, what they were saying is that there is such a thing in physics called locality, right? Where you can, up to a certain point, treat the Earth as flat for a certain distance before things kind of go haywire. So it's okay from a quantum point to say that the Earth is locally flat wherever I am now, whether it's Pittsburgh or New Zealand or in the UK. So flatness is not completely absurd. It's just not the shape of the Earth. I just thought that was very thought-provoking. We all should consider this idea of quantum locality and even locality of larger phenomena like gravity.
Land surveyors, if it's less than a mile, they don't consider the curvature of the Earth. But
why would you need to? Why would you need to? If you're just building a shopping mall, the curve doesn't come into it. If you're building a long suspension bridge, then it starts to come into it.
Yeah, but not as much as many would think.
Yeah.
But still, I think the most important part, there's a bridge between Germany and Switzerland. It's really famous because they were building it from both sides. In the end, there was, I think, about 20 centimeters of mismatch.
Oops.
On either side. Yeah. Problem was, Switzerland has the 0 point in the Mediterranean, and Germany has its 0 point in height somewhere in the Atlantic or North Sea, which led to this disastrous distance of 20 centimeters between the
somebody got fired.
Their idea of what represents sea level was different.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, quantum mechanics, that really is a great talking point, isn't it? Like, the double slit experiment and all that just throws a whole nother side to everything. And like you said, Mitch, observably it's flat. There's no curvature. But
observation does not make science.
Yeah, but the problem is you can't extrapolate from your local phenomenon or what's called your local attribute. You cannot extrapolate your local attributes because once you scale up, depending on what scale you're operating at, all bets are off. If you scale down to the subatomic level, all bets are off. Things don't happen the way that we expect it to happen. You can observe because locality at that very small level is completely unpredictable according to quantum theory. Now, on the other hand, when you up motion, what we expect a solar system or a galaxy or a cluster of galaxies, those seem to behave exactly, precisely as intended for the locality of things that are trillions of light years in size. So I guess that's also part of locality when you scale of locality.
Mr. Sensible, really quick, I dropped in the general chat an image. I don't know if you can put that on the screen. Maybe I've showed this to you before, but I want to see what people think. I want people to ask me what color is A and what color is B.
What? Sorry, what color?
What color?
Okay, let's have
the same.
Let me have a go.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Hold on.
That's okay.
Yeah, well, keep chatting for a while. I'm going to just try and do... yeah, this might do it.
I'm gonna have a follow-up image for that also.
Oh, right. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm here to make your life easier.
Yeah, that's right.
This is an optical illusion, isn't it? Right? As in, yeah.
Well, that's for you to determine. Really.
It's called a photochromic optical illusion.
Right, I think I got it. Let's see if I can just adjust it a bit. Okay. Right, it's just coming through onto the screen. It'll be there in a few seconds. I've never seen this before.
Well, wait till you see the follow-up image.
I have. I've seen it a dozen times.
Well, no spoilers now. The Mandalorian has not released this episode.
There it is. It's through on the live screen now. So go on in. Ask your question, gatekeeper, bridgekeeper.
Well, if you look at A and B, are they?
Oh.
You know, is the top one gray and the bottom one?
Hello, did I just lose you?
I'm still here.
Oh, good. I just as I clicked a window, everything went quiet. Sorry, it's the top one grey and the bottom one.
Yeah, those two colors.
Are the buttons the same color?
The same colour? No, to me they look. A definitely looks grey and B definitely looks white. But I will add, I am slightly colourblind, which doesn't help.
Oh no, this won't make too much of a difference.
Yeah,
Okay.
this won't have a difference with color blindness, Mr.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going for. Oh, I've seen the second one. Shall I put that image up now?
Wait. I want to see.
What people say in
just
chat?
how close people think those colors really. Anyone?
I can't look at
Without
chat.
presupposing anything, though.
Great.
Well, I think. I think it's been good enough. Go ahead and put the second image up,
Right.
and
Give me a second.
that should pretty much.
Yeah, second image should be coming through.
This is why we need to steal Simon Dan's agent, because I think Simon Dan is trying to undermine everything here. He's slowing down. I never trusted that Simon.
He doesn't have a chat with.
Well, the second image has come through, I think. Oh, sorry. I've got windows within windows within windows within windows within windows. Sorry, but you can see it there. I'll have to lose this in a second. But perhaps you'd like to explain. I'm going to take this back down again now.
Well, yeah, now that you see it, the second image, I changed nothing about that except for putting the black box in. That is definitive proof that observation is not the end all to a conclusion. Observation only works as a part of the scientific method. One part. You need to actually be able to understand the fact that your senses might be fooling you.
Yeah, your senses can lie to you, definitely.
Like your senses might fool you into thinking that you're on a flat surface that's inconceivably larger than you think it is.
It's also very hard to determine curvature when you're looking at it from left to right. But if you sight down something like you sight down the barrel of a gun, right, you will see that obviously that is definitely straight. It has to be, of course. But
Well, if you shoot a gun, you'll also. If you shoot a gun that goes far enough, you sure will.
Well, flat.
well, if you got a curved barrel, you're going to find out the hard way.
Well, when I was in the Army, the Army did have to account for curvature of the Earth when they did their big guns. Those go, 10, 15 kilometers in distance. Yeah, they need to know that they have to adjust the height over the ground that shells will explode. Over that threshold is actually so they count.
And by the way, the argument that water is flat and level, flat is not the same as level because walls are flat. Definitely not.
Well, I've got a question for you, Flat Earth New Zealand. It was something that I'd never thought about, but you've seen pictures with things that are beyond the horizon, yes?
Beyond the horizon?
Yeah. So for instance, a mountain at a distance, and you can only see the top part of it. Now, I'm not going to argue about how far that horizon is, but you must have seen photos where something is hidden beyond that horizon.
I guess I've seen the photos. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Okay. You know that all this business of oil, these oil platforms and so on.
Is that the ones Taboo Conspiracy did?
I'm pretty sure it's the same ones. Platform Habitat and Platform whatever it was. Yeah. But have you seen one of the debunk photos? It's a photo I showed actually way back at the beginning, where you can see a photo of these platforms, or one of the platforms is half hidden by the horizon line.
Okay.
Probably best if I try and find the photo. Although that could be fun and games. The point being that this whole thing with these platforms, they're arguing about how far you can see and how far the horizon line is beyond the platforms, isn't it? But on a flat Earth, you would never ever see anything part hidden by horizon, would you? You couldn't because
yes, you can.
Well, perspective. The laws of perspective would rule that out. It would be impossible for anything to be hidden on a flat surface because everything would just be either you'd see the bottom of it to the top, or as you gained in elevation, you would see both objects appearing to lower, the nearer one appearing to lower faster than the more distant one, but they would never get below a horizon point.
So, but your take on the horizon is an actual physical point.
No,
there's a difference. There's a difference between the physical. There is a physical. Forget the Earth. Imagine a real large ball. There is physically a horizon. If you were small enough and sat on that giant basketball, but
actually,
with refraction, yeah.
The horizon is merely a perceivable abstract.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. There is a physical geometric line, but with the atmosphere, where you're getting distortion and refraction and so on, that's what you actually see. So you don't see the physical geometric horizon or edge or whatever you want to call it, because you're always seeing something that's slightly different.
Right. Also, another interesting thing is take pictures in spectra other than the visible spectrum. And what that does is it really changes the effect of activity on things like infrared waves. They're much less prone, or they are prone to. So when you do full spectrum photography, it's actually quite easy to eliminate the area of refraction. So I don't know if anybody's bothered. That would sell this concept.
Read what you're seeing properly too.
Look at JT Tolan's infrared images. I mean, they're incredible.
And they show curvature. If that's the same ones I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I'd have to disagree. I think the only time you see curvature is when you're so high, not high on drugs, of course, but I mean high.
Why not? Get some plans.
Because if you were so high, or if you're on an island, say in the middle of the ocean, and you had a full 360-degree horizon. So no matter where you're looking, so you could follow. Well, that line left to right, the horizon,
Well,
curves back around because it's a complete circle. It can't.
Well, Fens, just before you carry on with that, if you just have a look at the YouTube thing, I've got the picture that I was talking about. Can you see that picture of the two platforms?
Okay, where are they?
It should be on. It should be on this live stream now.
Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah.
Now you can see the further platform in this image is part hidden, perhaps half hidden, by what we would call the horizon line. Would you agree?
Yes.
So
Yes.
that could never ever happen on a flat Earth, because the flat plane and the flat ocean would just be carrying on forever, or for whatever distance beyond, straight away from you. So how would you, I know you're being put on the spot, but I just wondered how you'd explain a picture like that.
Well, that second platform's further away.
Yep.
And like I said, everything converges into the horizon. So, and there's plenty of videos showing everything's disappearing bottoms up as they get further and further away from you.
But if that platform was a ship or whatever, as it's moving away from you, it starts off right next to you in the dock, and it's cruising away from you. The further it gets, the smaller it gets. It gets shorter, not so wide, and so on. And all the objects on it, the windows appear smaller, the chimneys or exhaust or whatever they are, all appear smaller. Everything diminishes at exactly the same rate, until you get to a certain distance, and suddenly just the bottom is being cut off, while the top part, as it's still going further and further away, is still diminishing at the same rate. Why should the bottom, when you reach a certain distance, why should only the bottom suddenly totally disappear? Not get a lot smaller, but totally disappear. And I am really cognizant of the fact that you've just been put on the spot here, so don't worry about it.
Well, that's because that's the part that's closest to the convergence point. You've seen, like, you're a big fan of Mitchell from Australia. The whole coin on the table argument. Why do things do that? It's just how our vision works.
Not exactly.
And sorry, Mitch, we're getting your feedback again. But Fens, if we were looking at this view of that platform at a distance, if I was to be sat in a helicopter and rise up 100 feet, I'd suddenly, not getting any further or closer, but I'd suddenly see a lot more of it, maybe all of it.
You would, yes, because the higher we go, the further we can see.
But it's the same distance.
Yeah, but we're higher. Our elevation and
perhaps allowing us to look over the curve.
I disagree on that, but for your argument here, like, there's always going to be you've got explanations that both work. Both arguments. What you're saying, you can't really disagree with factually, like, 100%. Otherwise, we wouldn't be arguing. Like, or my one either. There's proof for both, but I'm still in the flat camp.
Yeah, fair enough. And listen, respect to you for coming on here tonight. Honestly, I'm sure the other guys would agree.
Yeah. I've actually been going down a different track. I've been doing a lot of research about Tartaria and the Tartarian Empire, which is pretty good as well.
Well, I got the fish sticking empire to challenge you on that.
I'm just going to let. Sorry, guys, carry on for a second. I've just got to let Arnold out of the studio. Excuse me.
Okay. Let the king of the house out.
Yeah, give him some pets.
Squishies. Cats are good for squishies.
Oh,
I love kitties.
Oh yeah, I love all kind of animals. That's why I love Stephen Irwin's content, especially that one where he handled that inland type, and I was like, hey, look there, she's just a bit angry, so just give her room and just showing her. That was amazing. Oh yeah.
Well, I missed that, whatever that was, guys. Well, I will say, just to give you a bit of a warning, we've got about 20 minutes to go before we're going to close down and hand over to the Shill show, okay? About 20 minutes.
I'm actually going to take some time and birthday, 19 years old. So we are going to go out for Mexican food. So I thought it would be wise to sign off.
Well, you're very welcome, Mitch. Thank you very much for dropping in as ever.
And Flat Earth New Zealand, I dig you, man. I'm happy to have you. It makes us remember to be civil, follow our own moral codes, and not to bully on people who are bullied, and not to humiliate people who are just trying to find out what's going on.
Yeah, having an adult conversation.
Yeah, we don't. There's lots of things that Mr. and I don't agree about, but we don't take it as a point of. I can't think of any of.
Sure we attack the ideology, not the person.
Right, exactly, and that's what we need. We need adult discussion.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Each other, and Mr. Sensible, you're a paragon of at least being fair and obviously sensible about your approach to real science, and I admire you.
Well, thank you for that, Mitch. Thank you very much.
Well, Mitch, before you go, I just want to let you know, Mr. Sensible is actually Jean-Luc Picard. He's come back in time to educate us.
Make it so.
No, I actually have another theory. My theory is we discovered a time machine which explains his affection for cheese. Very neat.
Sorry, Mitch, you're dropping out a bit there.
And I was actually going to say, you missed that episode where the guy had the time machine. Now they showed it on camera as they captured this time criminal and let his time machine go off without him. But what really happened is that they reprogrammed the time machine, and Picard is just running through all of the timeline, just having a ball, Captain's privilege. And here he is now pretending to call himself Mr. Sensible.
Tea, Earl Grey, hot.
See what I mean? See, doesn't he sound exactly like it?
See you all soon.
You take care, Mitch. All the best. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Oh, geez. Now they've got rid of that guy. Jeez.
you do know that he can watch this on the replay.
Oh, wait, he can hear me? Oh, no, that was the other guy that said that. I didn't say that.
Yeah.
Blame the guy from New Zealand. It's all good.
Yeah, there we go.
So, Fence, you're saying you're now looking into Tartaria and all that sort of stuff as well?
Yeah, it's just quite interesting.
I must admit, Tartaria, I've not looked into at all. You're not going to tell me, though, you're into mud floods and stuff like that as well, are you?
Oh, I'm not an expert on it for sure. It just intrigues me. That's all. That there could be this recent history completely, erased from what we know to be from what history we think is true today. That's all. Well, some of the buildings is just so unreal. It's blows my mind.
Well, I'd be interested in finding more about it. I'll be honest and say I'm not convinced. And the whole idea of these historical resets, is that the sort of thing you're talking about?
Well, sort of, I guess, as a branch that comes off after it. But just more and so, just the technology we must have possessed, not long ago, that's just been forgotten. With all them
technology, such as what?
Well, these Arterian buildings, a lot of them, we couldn't do that today. And these things are supposed to be, hundreds of years old.
Burj Khalifa? What is it? We can't. I said Burj Khalifa. The thing in Dubai, the
tallest tower in
that's
Dubai.
Yeah,
actually in the world.
For so now,
far, yes. Yeah, but what I'm saying is these buildings, the buildings we build today, wouldn't last 200 years. You know what I mean? These Tartarian era buildings are made with limestone and they just stand the test of time. And if you have a look at a lot of them, I think there's one in like Philadelphia. I think there's in the middle of the city there or something that's just so out of place because it's so old. But the story is that like these things were already there, and we've just come along and resettled them and sort of made them said that they're ours. Whereas
why would there be tools? Why would there be tools consistent with the manufacture of these things? And also, on another point, back then they were cutting these pieces from solid stone, whereas now we have the technology where we've ground up stone, developed a cement to to reconstitute it into stone the way that we want, instead of having to actually cut it from a solid piece.
Yeah, it's also building wise. When you see just a normal wall of a modern house, and I'm speaking now of an example of the house I'm living in, which consists no longer mostly out of stone, but mostly of insulation and weather protection. And there's some stone. I mean, our house is mainly made of wood, so weather protection and insulation it is.
And I live in a village in the UK, and there are houses here that are 500 and 600 years old. The church in the village is 12th century.
What constitutes a village?
I'm sorry?
What constitutes a village?
A small collection of houses. I mean, obviously there's newer houses as well. Right now there's around 200 houses, 200 homes. If that gives you an idea of the sort of scale.
There's only one. There's only a one-word answer. What constitutes a village? A child, because it takes a village to raise them.
Very deep, philosopher.
Well, I'm just saying a city. But for a city, you got to have a cathedral. Apparently, is what makes a town a city.
Apparently, it's sausage o'clock. I know that sounds weird, but Doc Scranton wanted me to say that for some reason. There you go, Doc. It's sausage o'clock.
Is that safe for work?
I don't know. I might have just demonetized myself.
Oh,
no. Did we get a no out of few, Fens?
No, you don't.
No, right there. No, you just caught him. He just did it right there.
I think so, yeah.
He fell for it, man. He got you.
I'm going to tell Del about you.
I'm going to be right back in a second. I got to refill.
We only got 10 minutes, Philosopher, 10 minutes.
Here's an interesting thing. I've got a child on the way, and it's great because I get another chance to be a dad. But what I also get is the chance to filter out all the crap that's out there, and I'm just really excited about this Flat Earth little baby. I think it's going to be a boy. But just think with all the media and propaganda and just all the shit that's out there, I think we've got to give our kids the best chance.
Of course we have, and I'm sure that I don't doubt for a moment that you would want to do the very best for your child. I don't doubt it for a moment. But what would you do? I know it'll be a few years off when it comes to schooling, and they're taught globe Earth, heliocentric model, etc., etc.
Well, I'm going to teach them before school, as much as I can, obviously, about what we observe and what we see. And it'll just be interesting to see the starting point, because we've all gone from globe Earth to, how really absurd the flat Earth is in our era. You know what I mean? So it'd be interesting to, just for a research point of view, like having someone that sees it as a flat Earth person and then introduced to the globe Earth, and just to see from their perspective how absurd that is.
Our Flat Earth New Zealand, Fens. I'll just call you Mercedes Fens. I assume that's the car you drive. If you would like to actually maybe join some actual discussion, we're going to post a Discord link. Chris Murr, get on it. I would like to just like sit and chat with you and try to like develop the oranges. Oh my God, origins. Sorry, I've been paying attention too much.
The root cause.
But the orange,
we know what you mean. Move on.
Where that started from. Yeah, the origins of where your beliefs that the Earth is flat comes from, and I'm pretty well versed in the sciencey bit, so I think it would be good to have a conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's hard because I know there's a lot of shills out there and disinformation agents, and so it's really hard when you're actually a valid person, like you're coming from a valid point of view. You're not just out there trying to.
Well, you sound like a person who has reasoning. Okay, you're not just a parrot. I don't want to talk to parrots because that's all they do is run their script. They're stream of consciousness, if you will.
Just going to quickly jump in. Mr. Warren Jones wants a shout out. He loves my channel. Welcome, Warren. Make yourself at home, pal. Yeah, I agree, Fens. I think you're a good bloke. Obviously, yeah, we disagree. Me and I guess Flint, Philosopher, Christmer, all think you're wrong. And you know that. And that's okay. The fact that if you're looking, hopefully you'll find the answer. I think if you look hard enough, you'll find it's globular, but a spherical world. But at least you're properly looking, unlike some of these people like Nathan Oakley, who, if he came on here, not that he would ever come out of his channel, if he came on here, it would be swearing and blinding and refusing to understand or accept or talk about anything.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I know.
Yeah, cool.
I think 2020 needs to be the year that, like, we've got to stop this arguing and stuff like that. I mean, if the globe, the globe people, because it's from both sides too, there's globe people out there who are just cunts as well. You know what I mean? Who aren't coming from a place like I'm coming from. And so if we can get these sorts of people together and just really, I just want answers. Like,
actually have a real discussion.
Yes.
Yeah. Not a sausage measuring party, if you will.
I mean, because if it was so clear cut, there wouldn't be flat earthers, would there? So,
well, I think a lot of it though, Fens, is just pure either misunderstanding or lack of knowledge about something. And lack of knowledge is not something to be ashamed of course, because you can learn. But I think that's where a lot of it comes from. It's just a lack of knowledge.
Ignorance is not a bad word.
No.
A lot of people take it offensively, but ignorance is just, you just don't know about it. I'm ignorant on medical science. I'm no expert. Don't ask me to do open heart surgery.
I wasn't about to.
Please don't. I have had already somebody fiddling in my brain, but anyways.
Well, I had a lot of patients, but then I ran out because they all died.
Yeah. So, but basically, what I want to ask you, Fez, yeah.
We'll just call him Fez now.
Yeah, Fez.
Fez.
Sorry. But basically, because I see that a lot in the flat Earth community, that they just dismiss math because it's fake anyway. I wanted to listen because my job requires me to do a lot of math, and I know a lot of it is true, and a lot of it comes actually from my field, which is the higher maths and so on. What do you think about math in general? Because it's not everybody's favorite topic.
Well, maths, like that, I was quite good at maths when I was coming through school, but it's the one language that, it doesn't matter where you're from, we can all understand numbers. But you can also got to realize too that mathematics can be manipulated also.
Depending on which
getting
grade.
into,
Yes.
if you're
Well,
talking
so can
about
observation,
math,
though.
as you showed earlier with the, those coloured.
Yeah.
things,
That is not math. Math is absolute. Math is actually saying the color is an hex value, which is assigned to RGB.
Yes.
Math, it's the methodology you work with. What you do with the methodology, for example, what you're saying is basically statistics. You can turn statistics the way you want it to be, and that is just a branch of mathematics to show some
Numbers can't lie.
But as said, you can take the same set of data and show something completely different, and that's what where it comes in. As in, yeah, mathematics is to show, to trying to explain the world around us.
Yes. But mathematics can't explain stuff like, you know, when I'm talking, because I'm a spiritual man, so like mathematics can't explain emotions and feelings and
actually, it kind of can. Chemistry does that.
That is real, that are there. So mathematics is just portion.
Well, chemistry can. It's just that it's really complex. It's incredibly complex.
Yes.
Well, I think we're starting to slide off topic a little. Fens, as usual. Fens. Someone actually said, no, I think they meant it in the best way. The one you were talking about teaching your son or daughter about flat Earth and then seeing how they react when sort of taught about the globe. And I can understand that as an experiment. Yeah, it would be very interesting. But it is real life. Would you worry that, let's say you teach your child flat Earth, they go to school and over perhaps several years and they're learning more about it, they decide that it is correct and that what you taught them was wrong. Would you worry about them resenting that you taught them something that was wrong under those circumstances? Something to consider, perhaps.
No, because it's in the way you teach it. So it's not exactly like, I'm not going to be teaching. I want people to come to their own conclusions. I think that's the biggest growth that you can do as a person, is when you reach a point from your own understanding. I never try and force anybody into my views. I simply just lay out, you know, what I see as the facts or whatever, and people can interpret it as they want.
But are you entirely sure that you're letting your child make their own decision? Because when you're teaching them something very young, they're very impressionable, and the problem I have with the flat Earth belief is that it can be really dangerous. That tends to lead to a mistrust of science. So that's where you get the anti-vaxxers from, and that's how disease spreads, and that kills people.
Yes,
well,
guys,
I tell you what, guys. Just on that note, my child isn't going to be vaccinated. This is going to be my first one that won't be.
Okay. Well, listen, guys. Well, we're going to have to wrap up now. The shills are going to start, or they are just starting. So anyone out there who wants to see the shills, Conan has just dropped the link in there. Guys, maybe we can carry this on in chat ourselves, because it is really interesting, and maybe it would be a topic for another show. Just to round off, though, do stay with me. Just to round off, if each of you would like to say last few words, and today we'll start from the top. So that's you, Chrismer.
Yeah, the name's Chrismer. By
Chrismer.
The way.
Yeah, I did wonder, actually.
How dare you, sir?
I pronounced it with the English accent. Oh, and I've got to get. With that. I do apologise, but I've got to get in. I've just had a super chat for €2 from our good friend 3 a.m. Paranormal Horror, who said a 15 degree per hour drift. Thank you, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Bob. And thank you, 3 a.m.
Thanks, Bob.
Yeah, carry on, Chrisma.
We will be doing, me and Philosopher of Nonsense and some other people, fun people, are going to be doing a live stream of our own tonight, probably after the shills, around 9:30 Eastern or 10 o'clock Eastern time. So
6:30 Pacific.
6:30 Pacific. Yeah. So I hope. Yeah. Hope y'all are ready for that.
Okie dokie. And Fens. And when I say Fens, I do tend to use shortened versions. It's not meant in any way disparaging, okay? Yeah, a few last words?
Yeah, sure. Head along to my YouTube channel and like and subscribe and hit the bell.
Okay, let me just post a link to your channel.
Oh, look at him shilling. Look at him.
There you go. Your shield. There's a link to Flat Earth New Zealand's channel. Just
also
above.
got a Facebook page, but yeah, just keep searching and having these conversations in a this manner, you know, without the abuse and whatever. And
sounds cool to me.
Have a great rest of the weekend, everybody.
Thank you very much. And Flint, on your maiden visit to us here, any words to finish off with?
Yeah, basically, thank you for being sensible as always, and a shout out to everybody who is doing something, as in a study or whatever, widen your horizon, whatever. Don't give up, keep on going. I'm doing the same.
Sounds good to me. Thank you very much, Flint, and glad to have you on here, and you're welcome to jump in any time. And I've just had yet another super chat. This one is in an upside down Australian $2 note, I think, from John Rapp, saying, "Thank you, Mr. Sensible, and everyone else, cheers." Well, thanks to you too, John. I hope you have a great time. And finally, Mr. Philosopher of Nonsense.
Well, I will just say, how inconsiderate of you to skip over that Mr. Sensible guy. I mean, I'm pretty sure he had something to say. Really quick, I just want to shield for our channel because we're going to be doing a live stream pretty soon, in about 3 hours, actually, wherever your time is. So just 3 hours from now.
I'm trying to find the link again. Perhaps, Conan, if you've got it, you can drop it in the chat because I can't see it.
Or Charisma, maybe. I just want to say, like, I really hope Fens sticks around a little bit. I'd love to actually like have a real discussion with him, and really, it's just a matter of being nice to people. We got to stop with the insult wars. That's kind of like losing our maturity here. Scientists don't get into fist fights. So if you really believe in actual scientific discovery, you don't have to insult people. Let's just develop a little bit of a moral code. There's too much of that going around, a little bit too much. But for the most part, just figure things out for yourself, do the research, and try not to be jaded. Because if you're going to be a real scientist, you can look at the other side and at least comprehend how they came to that particular conclusion. Whereas some people, they don't. They just have their conclusion and they stick with it. Don't stick with that conclusion. Challenge yourself. Try to play the other side. And then you'll start to understand why people come to these conclusions. Cool. And I don't know about this Mr. Sensible guy, but I guess I'll leave it to him.
Okay, well, thanks very much, Philosopher, and of course, you're welcome back too. Everybody, I've really enjoyed tonight. As ever, we've wandered all over the place, which is half the fun, I think. It's been great to see so many. I didn't actually spot exactly how many we had at a peak, but quite a lot. I think it was getting up close to 100. Not sure exactly. Anyway, thank you all so much. Thank you for everyone for commenting. Thank you especially for the super chats. They're much appreciated. And thank you to the guests tonight. We had Mitch earlier, and we got Chrisma, Flat Earth New Zealand, Flint, and Philosopher of Nonsense. I look forward to seeing you all again sometime soon. I probably won't be able to have a live stream during my next set of shifts, so it's going to be a little over a week away, I'm afraid, which is a shame because I really, really enjoy these. But I've got videos coming out Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I just got to work on Friday, Saturday. Don't forget to hop over to the Shills. The link's in the chat somewhere. Tell them Mr. Sensible sent you and that you bring cheese. They always love that for some reason. So I'm going to say good night. Thanks very much. Stay sensible.